Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here or if you've been here before, let me give you a quick intro. This is En La Cocina with me, Ciindeh. This is also a safe space for all you millennials out there who are trying to figure out your kitchen and trying to find your sazon. So hit that subscribe button and let's learn how to cook together. For today's recipe, we're gonna be making something so classic and is essential to pretty much every Mexican meal. Basically, it's just the rice you see at every fiesta, at every party, at every taco bar, everywhere. It's the red rice that you see with pretty much every Mexican meal. This recipe for me is a struggle sometimes because you can add too much salt.
Too little salt. And then it could come out really bland, or it could come out too tomatoey, or it could come out too oniony.
But we're gonna get the perfect formula. So keep watching as we figure it out together. So let's get to the ingredients. You're gonna need arroz blanco, 2 to 3 tomates. I have plum tomatoes, at least half a cebolla. This magical formula here called Nor, it's the one with the little gallo on it. It's basically chicken flavor broth maker. I don't know. You see it in every Mexican house, in every cupboard. Some aceite. You also want a blender or like a NutriBullet thing. All right, let's get started. I really woke up today and said, let's dress super cute to make some red rice. Look cute, taste cute. First thing we're gonna do is, well, these pans are empty. I'm gonna fill this up with some water and we're gonna boil our tomatoes and our onion. I'm gonna put about a little bit less than half of an onion, like almost a third, because onion is really powerful. So if you put too much, that's when your rice is gonna come out a little too bitter. So we're gonna put like a third of an onion, and then I'm gonna do 2 plum tomatoes. I'm gonna use my reddest tomatoes because the redder the tomato, the redder the rice. Gonna add a tiny bit of salt. By tiny bit, it means like smack, smack, done. Now that I'm looking at these tomatoes, they look really small, so I might actually add a whole other tomato. We're gonna let that boil for a bit. While we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my big pan. You're gonna need a big pan like this. Make sure it's kind of deep because you're gonna add a lot of water and rice. Your rice is gonna cook in here. So it's gotta be deep enough for that. I really need a new pan, so hopefully one day I'll be sponsored and get like a brand new pan sent to me. That would be amazing. Doing it to medium heat. Again, always start medium, then go up or down as needed, but that way your food doesn't burn. I'm gonna add my aceite. I'm adding a good amount to cover the whole surface of the pan. All of your rice has to get completely covered in it. You're basically gonna fry the rice first and then cook it later. Very good. Why is my cat stuck? Can't open it, video's over. Oh, I got it. That didn't work. See, that's why us Latinos like to eyeball everything, because these things don't always work for us. So I'm gonna pour in
A handful.
You see if I like that? A little bit more. You want to be careful to not make too much rice because if your pan isn't deep enough, it's gonna overflow. I added about 6 handfuls. My hands are kind of small. I want to say that's a little less than a cup. Up to a cup sounds about right for this recipe. So as you can see, I did enough to cover the surface of my pan here. And no, I did not rinse the rice first because I don't care. And here is my tomatoes and onions boiling. So for the rice, you want to start stirring it around as soon as possible and be pretty consistent so that it doesn't burn, but it does toast a bit and get brown. My trick for not burning the rice is flattening it out once, letting it sizzle for maybe up to a minute, and then flipping it over, flattening it out again, letting it sizzle, and continuing that process until it's the right color. So I just sliced my tomato and onion. I just do a little bit of onion, like a little fourth. And I did one whole tomato because my tomatoes are small. I like them to be in little chunky squares like this. But I'm gonna hold off to put those in there until my rice is a little bit more brown. You don't want it to boil too much, but just enough to tenderize the tomatoes so that a sweeter flavor comes out of them. All right, look at how brown that's getting. That's beautiful. And you'll know your tomatoes are pretty much done once the skin starts to wrinkle like it is right now. So right now it's pretty much fine to take them out. So I went ahead and lowered the heat on my rice, and now I'm gonna go ahead and add the chunks of other rice. I lowered it pretty low, but I'm gonna like scoot it off of the flame so it doesn't keep burning or anything while I make the sauce. Okay, so careful because this is gonna be really hot, but you're gonna pour it into your blender or bullet or whatever you're gonna use. I do it over the sink. I'm lying, that's not how you do it. The safest way to do it is to scoop out the tomatoes first. And now scoop, and now you can pour your water in. So get that nice and tight. Ooh, it's hot. And we're just gonna blend. Looks good.
Ah, that's hot! I'm gonna use this. Nope, not gonna use that. Not gonna use that either, it's so slippery, oh my god.
Okay, we're gonna tough it out. Got it. No burnt fingers. Okay, last little spin around here. That looks beautifully brown. I love it. And now you wanna add the red sauce that you just made and have water nearby because it's gonna sizzle and you're gonna wanna add more water quickly. Whoop. Or not, because that was the perfect amount. Beautiful. I'm gonna stir this just a little bit. Now it's the time for this magical ingredient that's gonna make this taste amazing. So the thing with this is that it's pretty much gotta be perfect. I've definitely made way too salty of rice thinking that this is what gave it the red color. That was my mistake. I'm gonna go ahead and start with 1 teaspoon because that's what the thing says is 1 teaspoon is equivalent to 1 cup of broth. I'm just kidding, I'm gonna start with 2 teaspoons. Now you're gonna have to keep watching till the end where I figure out exactly how many teaspoons it takes to make this rice perfect. The other secret to Latino cooking is having a tiny spoon nearby to taste everything you're making as you're making it. So you wanna get a little bit of the broth, blow on it, and then taste it. Yeah, that definitely needs more north. 3 teaspoons. Trying it again. Yo, that's so good. I'm tempted to add the tiniest bit more. I'm gonna add the tiniest bit more. It's like half of a teaspoon. Now, we put a cap on it. Okay, so now you're gonna wanna keep an eye on this to make sure it doesn't overflow. This is the most common spill that happens in most kitchens. Just kidding, I don't know the statistic, but it happens in my kitchen a lot, where I make rice and other boiling water things on the stove and it overflows. So you wanna just keep an eye on it. I'm gonna raise the heat a little bit, forgot I put it down. That's like mid-heat if you have a gas stove. Keep an eye on it, and yeah, let that cook. Don't touch it. At this point, you say your prayers and don't touch it, and we'll be back to check on it. I guess I'll take this time to ask you guys, how do you guys make your red rice? Or does your mom have like a secret formula for it, different than this? Everyone kind of has their own little way of doing it. I'm so curious how you guys do it. So let me know in the comments down below. That's the sizzle you want to hear. I'm gonna go ahead and spy on it just a little bit to see how it's tasting. Yep, that's good. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. Once it starts to get pretty like done looking, you want to take out actual rice now and taste that instead. That way you'll know if you're gonna need to add any more water or anything else for taste, but yeah. Oh my god, that makes me so happy. Ta-da! I've never made rice this perfect and I'm so glad I got it on camera. So how many teaspoons did it take? I honestly lost count. I think it was 3.5. I'm pretty sure it was 3.5. Okay, amazing. We freaking got it. It's absolutely perfect. It looks beautiful. You can pair this with anything, some frijoles, some tacos, some enchiladas, whatever you want. But this is the perfect side dish to anything you make. So thanks for watching. So if you had fun doing this kitchen with me. So if you had fun cooking with me, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'll be posting new videos every single week. Learn how to cook with me. Let's find our sazon.